Well, listen, I'm so happy the girls now get to have this conversation. And you know what? This is something for the girls and the guys, because we'll be diving into the topic that has had and still has many talking. I'm talking about the sexiest man alive empire that has been around for years now. For those who don't know, the sexiest man alive is a title that is given every year by voters who cast online ballots over the fall, which is the American autumn. And then the man that took home the title for this year is the one and only Patrick Dempsey, Mr. McDreamy. Now, for those of you joining us now, we're going to dive into it a little bit more with media personality Carissa Cupido. Can we give her a warm welcome to Expresso? I love this. The sexiest man alive.
Sexiest man alive.
For as long as I can remember, there's been quite a few sexy men.
There have been.
And there's been a few I'm like, what do they see? But then after they mention it, I'm like, okay, I see why you're sexy. I get it.
Right, but it takes some convincing sometimes.
It takes some convincing.
I get
because
you.
what's sexy for me might be different for you.
It is so subjective, 100%. Yeah, and I kind of love that they give the power, in a sense, to the audience that enjoys people, right? They say, vote for your sexiest, and then we'll put it up. But I do think that they influence it slightly, because if you look at the start of this, 37 years ago, 1985, it was actually Mel Gibson, and after the huge franchise of Mad Max, I think there were 3 outs already. He was the biggest star at the time, and naturally he was the one that set the bar for the rest of the guys to come after him.
I know, I love that. I mean, it's also such a big cultural phenomena. I mean, when it came out in, you said 1985?
Yeah.
That's an institution on its own. It's been around longer than I've been here.
Yeah, me too.
But it's incredible. I mean, what impact does this have on that individual's career?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that I often think that people are pretty established by the time they hit the sexiest man, right? If you think about 2020 and Michael B. Jordan, it was a great year for him, of course, with the Rocky franchise happening for him as well. And with Patrick Dempsey, Mr. McDreamy, he's had years of experience behind him. At 57, he's finally made the cut. He keeps saying that because always a bridesmaid, never a bride, right? And he's been featured, but never quite the #1. So I think it would impact their career and trajectory to go all the way up, but most of them are pretty established as is.
And I think it must also be, I mean, they're so established in their own career to now have this title. I suppose for them, it's just like that little...
It's bragging rights.
It's bragging rights. I love that.
No one can tell you anything after you've been named the sexiest man alive.
I know.
Crazy.
I love that. So how do they choose the sexiest man alive? You mentioned it's about who's popular, but then it comes down to the voting process.
100%. So I think it's a combination of both of those coming together, which I love. I love that it wasn't just imposed on the people. They also kind of opening it up, saying, who do you think should be at this #1 spot? Like we mentioned, it is subjective. I look at Patrick Dempsey, I'm like, okay, I liked him in his heyday, but I don't know if I would have voted for him. So I'm hoping that come the next couple, maybe they'll even make it a global submission, and I'll slip my little one in there.
Your suggestion.
You know.
Because I have to be honest, I mean, do we have an image of all the men that were nominated this year? Because he came out tops.
Yeah.
People had to vote for it. But I have to say, it was an older generation of men that were contenders for the title.
And I think that's quite cool, because they kind of earned their space. Maybe the younger guys need to put in a couple more years, a bit more legwork before they can earn the title of sexiest man.
Oh, well, I definitely think it's something to aspire to, I think for all these. But I mean, do they even do sexiest woman alive, or is it just the men at the moment?
I'm not sure they do sexiest women, but one thing that women do have is Sports Illustrated. And while people have the conversation about objectification, I do like that they brought diversity to the table. If we think about this year's Martha Stewart, 81 years old on the cover of Sports Illustrated, blows my mind. So I'm kind of hoping that people will take a page out of their book and maybe have different looking people, you know, going forward.
Different ones. Now, can we look at some of the past winners? I mean, that has also been so incredible. Like Idris Elba being up there.
That's my fave.
Oh, look at that. Did they say when he was the winner there, 2018?
Yeah, it was in 2000s. We also had Michael B. Jordan, like I said, in 2010. He's also another favorite.
We had The Rock.
We had The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. We also had people that got the title twice, like Brad Pitt, George Clooney. I mean, come on.
Hello.
Naturally.
Hello. Wasn't Chris Evans not too long ago, or last year, or the year before?
Paul Rudd made the list too.
So that was the one where I was like, please explain this to me.
I love me some Paul Rudd. The thing is with me, the humor is what gets me. I'm like,
Yeah.
you get extra points for that.
Yes, you do, you do. Oh my gosh, Chris, it's been amazing having you here.
Thank you.
I love being able to just have some lighthearted fun around this topic about the sexiest man alive. If you've missed it, Patrick Dempsey is taking that title for the next 12 months, but it's all fun and games, and of course, we can't wait to see who the next sexiest man alive will be. I mean, if one had to be in South Africa, we have top 2 contenders, one in our studio right now. Don't you agree?
Tell me more, tell me more.
I would give that title to either Graham or you and Stradom. I'm just saying. That title needs to come to South Africa.
I thought you were going to say one of the Springboks.
Oh, no. In our own studio, we start at home before we go outside the home.
Charity begins here.
Yes, charity begins here.